Welcome to Faith and Freedom. For the next few minutes, we hope to inform, inspire, and encourage you as we discuss the legal victories and challenges to your fundamental freedoms and religious liberties. Faith and Freedom comes to you from Liberty Counsel, a civil liberties education and legal defense organization. Join us now as Matt Staver, the President and General Counsel of Liberty Counsel, explains the latest legal issues all across this country in the courtrooms of America. Liberty Counsel is winning the battle for your constitutional freedoms.
The American people have spoken. President Obama, time to turn that car around. I'm Matt Barber, Director of Cultural Affairs with Liberty Counsel and Associate Dean with Liberty University School of Law. On the phone today with Matthew Krause, Litigation Counsel with Liberty Counsel, talking to us from Dallas, Texas. Matt, what a night we saw last week, November 2nd, with this really landslide election victory for conservative candidates across the country, with the Republican Party taking over. It's looking like it's going to be over 60 seats in the House, an unprecedented number, and picking up gains in the Senate and the state races across the country. The balance of power has switched at almost every level of government. What is your take on what we saw last week?
It was an absolutely historic night. As you said, the conservative candidates did well across the country, from the top of the ticket to the bottom rung, and it was just an amazing outcome. I think you're not seeing necessarily an embrace of the Republican Party or a direct repudiation of the Democratic Party. What you're seeing is a message to President Obama: you've gone too far left, too fast. We need to have a balance in there, and we are still a center-right country, and we will not stand for statism.
Well, very well said. You know, and you've struck on something very important here. If Republicans misperceive what happened on Tuesday night as a green light for them to return to business as usual, and for the GOP establishment leadership to start governing as Democrat light again, and as rhinos, and pushing the same old kind of center-left policies, both from a fiscal standpoint, from a social standpoint. I think that we will see the backlash, return in 2012. I could see this thing flip once again, unless Republicans, who are now going to have handily control the House, unless they start governing as Reagan conservatives, really embracing, recognizing all three legs of Reagan's three-legged stool. The fiscal side of things, the social side of things, the national defense side of things. I think in 2012 we could see it turn back.
Oh, absolutely. And this time I think it could be for good. We were so disillusioned as a country from 2000 to 2006 by the way Republicans, as you said, govern Democratic light. They've finally been given a chance to redeem themselves. And if they don't take the opportunity, I'm afraid that party is in a world of hurt for years to come.
Well, Matt, let's talk about some of the specific campaigns where we saw power change hands. Obviously, one that came as kind of a shock to the Tea Party movement and the grassroots was the fact that Harry Reid was apparently able to get out that Democrat machine there in Democrat and get out the vote, and so he was able to squeak by and return to the United States Senate. Nancy Pelosi, however, has been given the pink slip as Speaker of the House. I'm wondering if there are any particular races that you had your eye on, or any particular races that stand out to you as really sending a message to both Democrats and Republicans.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you hit the nail on the head. It's kind of a disconnect between what we saw in the House and what we saw in the Senate. In the House, we saw a couple of committee chairmen go down, Ike Skelton, Oberstar, a couple of those stalwarts of the Democrats. We saw Alan Grayson go down, which was a huge victory, I think, down there in Florida. And then even blue dogs like Chet Edwards here in Texas got stomped. But then, Harry Reid They all seemed to coalesce behind him. He got his money, he got his machine out, and they really took the election away from Engel.
Well, I'll tell you, there was one race here in Virginia that I think really sent a clear message to President Obama. That was in the 5th district, the 5th congressional district here in Virginia, where Tom Perriello, who the freshman congressman, was unseated by now Congressman Hurt, and Perriello was the only congressional race where the president came. There's the famous picture of him now standing with kind of his arm around Tom Perriello. Perriello looking really like a cardboard cutout in that picture, if anybody has seen it. But I think, again, that is a direct repudiation of President Obama. Again, it seems that he has that kind of reverse Midas touch. Every campaign that he went around and really helped out with and spoke on behalf of the candidates, they ended up losing. And I think that's real clear evidence that this hard left trajectory that the president has taken us on, this secular socialist car careening towards cliff's edge. Those who supported that agenda with Obamacare and so forth, they ended up getting fired here. How much of this do you think has to do with, again, the president's agenda generally, and Obamacare and those who supported Obamacare specifically?
I think it has a huge part to do with it. A lot of the pundits today in the mainstream media are saying, well, it wasn't anti-Obama, it wasn't anti-Democrat, it was anti-incumbent. But I don't think so. Like you said, Perriello, the only House member Obama went to, he lost. He made so many trips to Ohio, Pennsylvania, and Illinois, and we saw all three of those lose in the Senate, and probably all three pickups for Republicans for the governorship. So I think it was a direct repudiation of what he's doing, and I think almost person for person, congressmen or women who switched their vote from no to yes on health care went down. So I can't think of a bigger message to send to the Obama administration and his policies.
Now here's the million-dollar question. Something similar happened in 1994. What happened where the Republicans under the leadership of Newt Gingrich took 53 seats. That was catastrophic at the time. President Bill Clinton saw the writing on the wall, and being the kind of ever-ready politico that he is, put his finger to the wind, and he tacked toward the center. My question to you is, do you think President Obama will do the same thing? Is he a pragmatist, or is he a dyed-in-the-wool ideologue? And will we see some synergy and the two parties working together, or do you think that President Obama will dig in his heels?
I tend to believe he'll dig in his heels. Time after time, I've seen him and his policies repudiated by the public after polls or other things, and he just digs in his heels further. When he talks about punishing your enemies on radio the other day, or say if the Republicans take over the House, it'll be hand-to-hand combat. That doesn't sound very conciliatory to me. Now, the overwhelming win may have toned down his hubris a little bit, but, Bill Clinton took polls where he should go on vacation to see what the public thought. So, he was able to adapt and be flexible. As you said, I think Obama's more of a rigid ideologue, and I don't see him veering too much from what he feels like he needs to do.
Yeah, I tend to agree, and I think that is... I think rooted in both his hardcore ideology, this secular socialist Saul Alinsky ideology that courses through his veins, and I also think that it is rooted in his personality and his character makeup. I don't think it's too strong to say that the evidence is there that this man is a classic narcissist, and so I tend to agree with you. I expect to see him digging in his heels.
I expect a little humility, but not too much.
Yeah, well, I tend to agree. Well, folks, it was earth-shaking what happened last week, and it remains to be seen where this country goes. The Republican Party is on notice. The Democrat Party is on notice. The American people have spoken. The grassroots groundswell clamoring for a return to Reagan conservatism is undeniable. The pundits on the left, the pundits who support the establishment GOP will continue to try to spin this, but everybody knows the reality is there. It is time to return to our nation's founding principles. It's time to return to Reagan conservatism. Folks, to learn more about what Liberty Counsel is doing to help return our nation to our founding principles, go to lc.org or give us a call at 1-800-671-1776. Liberty Counsel exists based on the gifts of generous people like you so that we can be on the forefront of the front lines defending our nation's founding principles.
You have been listening to Matt Staver of Liberty Counsel. Our hope is to encourage and inspire you to stand up for your faith, family, and freedoms. We can accomplish a lot when we work together. Get informed and get involved today. Sign up for our free monthly newsletter, The Liberator. We will send it out to you free of charge. Stay informed with our Liberty Alert email update. Just click on the website at www.lc.org or call us at 1-800-671-1776. Tune in next time to learn more about your rights right here on Faith and Freedom.